Welcome everybody to the Advanced Guide for Pipes, Part 1 with some errors. So what we're going to look at today are mainly how to build pipes and what are general things you need to watch out for, about everything that have to do with water. Everything which is oil and upwards will get to be in Part 2. Also, please, if I forgot something or didn't tell you what you think it's important, leave me a comment, give me a chance to remedy that on the part 2. So, first of all, how do we get pipes? Well, we need to unlock them in the hub first, under tier 3 in the tech node coal power. There we find all the basic pipeline stuff, like the pipes themselves. Basic support for pipes, cross junctions, water pumps, water extractors. So everything you need to build your first pipe network. There are two more things you might want to get for your pipes. So first is in tier 4 logistic mark 3. There you find the stackable pipeline supports. And the second one is in the awesome shop. There, under attachments, you find the pipeline wall hole and the pipeline wall support. Building the pipes themselves is pretty easy and cheap. You need about 1 copper sheet per 2 meters pipe. So you see, it isn't really expensive. The crosses don't really cost more, and supports cost about the same than the conveyor supports cost. And building the pipe network themselves isn't really more difficult than the conveyor belt networks you're building already, maybe even a little bit easier. At least as long as the pipes lay on a flat surface. If we go in the third dimension, it gets a little bit more interesting, but that's later on in the video. So to build the pipes themselves, you have of course, the basic pipeline support, which mainly works like a normal conveyor support, so you can turn it around, then place it with one click and change the height. But you also can change the inclination with the mouse wheel while doing that, which can be handy to have a pipe going up or down or away from a wall or stuff like that. Next up are your stackable pipeline supports, which again works just like the normal stackable conveyor poles. You can stack them above each other and have your pipes run through them. You can also throw a conveyor pole or stackable conveyor pole into that and stack them interchangeably. Then we have the wall-mounted supports, which only can change the inclination, so you can't have them show away from the wall, and you can't change the distance went from the wall, so just place and turn around, that's it. And you have the wall hole, which lets you connect a pipe through the hole. Pretty useful because you can place it anywhere on the wall where you want, or at least in several positions, and don't have a preset hole like in the conveyor walls. Man, I hope they do that for the conveyor holes too. Next up, we're coming to planning your pipe network. So the first thing you need to know is a pipeline has a flow rate of 300 cubic meter per minute. That's about the same thing than the throughput with your conveyor belts, so the items per minute the different conveyor belts has. And it works exactly the same way. So if we have a basic setup like this, where you have 5 pipelines going to your consumers and have 1 pipeline going in, you just need to check that no pipeline needs to transport more than 300 cubic meters to fulfill all the consumers. You can check that pretty easily. So imagine all your consumers take 60 cubic meters per minute. You just go to the intake pipe, so there you say you have 300 cubic meter max, at least as long as you have built enough water extractors, and you subtract the outgoing pipes from that volume. So 300 cubic meter goes in. On the first pipe we lose 60, so we have 240 left. Next we lose 60 again, so we have 180 left, and so on, so on. 120 left, 60 left. On the last pipe we have nothing left, so it's an exact match. So as an example, if the flow rate isn't enough, if we have consumers which needs 120 cubic meters, we check on the first pipe again. 300 minus 120 is 180 left after the first pipe, and then 60 left after the second pipe. So the third pipe has already only 60 cubic meters left, and the pipes after that don't have anything left. Important to know is it's not first comes, first serve. So the water would be distributed between all the pipes, and all the pipes would get less water than they need. You can remedy that in the third dimension, but I will show you that in part 2 of this guide. So what do we do with our pipe network where we don't have enough water? We can just split a second pipe in. Well, we could split it in at the third takeout, but we don't need to. We can place it at the other side of the network too, because the flow goes omnidirectional. So it doesn't have the direction it flows at, it just flows in the direction it needed. So if we have another pipe coming up here and connected to the other side, we have 60 left in the middle pipe, and we can count from the other side again. So 120 left, take off 180 left, 180 minus 120, so we have 60 again for the middle, so the middle gets 2 times 60, 120, and all pipes are saturated. And of course we could do this with even more pipes, 3 pipes, by splitting in pipes in the middle of those networks. It is pretty useful that those junction crosses for pipelines, they are just open junctions, so they are like a splitter and merger combined and go in any direction. At that point, let me tell you, as long as you stay in one level, and so in 2 dimensions, there's no point at all in having pumps in your pipe network. Pumps limit the direction the water can go to, and that's it. But in this open system, the omnidirectional system, there's no advantage in doing that as long as you stay in 2 dimensions. It only costs energy, it doesn't give you advantage, so don't do it. But going in the 3rd dimension gives the whole thing a little bit more complexity. So what you need to know is, first of all, the liquid in the pipes only have a certain height it can go to. That's 10 meters above the outtakes from a water extractor or stuff like that. That's about the height of the water extractor itself, and 20 meters above the pumps. To be more precise, it's 20 meters above the bottommost point of the pump. So if we have multiple pipes in different heights, like here, the first 2 pipes can easily be managed with just the water extractor themselves. Interestingly for you maybe is a pipe has a diameter of about 1.3 meters, and you need to add that to your calculations. So it always calculates the head lift from the bottommost part of your bottommost pipe to the topmost part of the upper pipes. So the head lift needed for those pipes, the bottommost pipe would be 1.3 meters, the next pipe would be 5.3 meters, and the third pipe would be 9.3 meters, which is what our water extractor can do. It can go a little bit above 10 meters, but I wouldn't recommend that. So for the next pipe in 13.3 meters height, we would need a water pump. As you can see, without a water pump, the water doesn't go up there. You can place the water pump wherever you like. It really doesn't matter. The water will rise about 20 meters above the bottommost part of that last pump you placed. That means that placing two pumps right next to each other doesn't work at all. It just gives you the additional head lift from the size of one pump and not 40 meters for the two pumps combined. So the pumps should always be at 20 meters intervals to have additional benefits. And just to show you, here you can see from the head lift from that pump is 14 meters. That's those 3 walls, so 12 meters, plus the 1.3 meters from the pipe and a little bit bigger room for not placing the pump at 100% the right point. Next up, I want to show you how the liquid system works. So if you have multiple pipes cross-connected above each other, the bottommost pipe will always fill first. So it's just like with every liquid system, it fills from the bottom to the top. So the bottom will fill, the middle will fill, and then the top will fill. If we have rises and lowerings, it fills to the height anyway. So if we have a pipe going up and down, everything behind the up will only fill after everything which is lower than this most up point has filled, and then it will flow over. So normally there is no point in placing pumps to influence the direction. So the water in a pump goes only in one direction. It doesn't go in the other direction. This normally in the 2-dimension means there is no benefit from placing them to make sure that water goes only in one direction. As soon as you go in the 3rd dimension, that changes a little bit. Because if we have a junction and have pumps behind that, each pump gets about the same amount of water and pushes it in its own pipe. And that way we can pressure a system to fill pipes in different heights at the same or in the similar time. So a pump always works as a backflow stopper. This means that all this omnidirectional flow and flow in any direction thing gets stopped at the place of the pump. Everything behind the pump can't influence everything what is in front of the pump anymore. Well, that's it for part 1 of this guide. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't want to miss the part 2. Also, subscribe to help the channel. It really helps the channel a lot. There are a lot of you guys who watch my videos without being subscribed. If you watch it regularly, just give me a subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So far, I hope I see you again next week. Sorry for the delay of the video, and bye bye.